looking pretty today.
Thank you, Paul.
Mark Templeton must be coming over to see you.
Yes, sir. He's fetching me over a scuba suit. Gonna learn me to be a frog woman.
You two seem to be hitting it off pretty good.
Yes, sir. I like Mark a whole lot. I'm just sorry Granny don't like him.
Oh, she likes him all right. She just don't understand what he does. She ain't never heard of a Navy frogman before.
She keeps telling him to stay out of the water.
Well, like lots of old folks that ain't never learned to swim, Granny's scared of the water. She'll get over worrying about him.
Thanks for fetching me home, Miss Jane, and for sending me to that nice Dr. Klingler, too.
Well, he's a fine psychiatrist, Granny. If anyone can help you with your bad dreams, he can.
Oh, it's more than bad dreams. If only that Mark Templeton would stay out of the water. Every time he dunks himself, he turns into a frog.
Well, that's his career, Granny. He's a frogman in the Navy.
Why couldn't he be in the Army? Of course, then maybe he'd go underground and turn himself into a gopher man. I don't know.
Well, try not to let it worry you, Granny. But if you should have any more nightmares, don't hesitate to see Dr. Klingler.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Now listen, Mark. I'm gonna have Elly kiss you and turn you back into a man like she done before. But please, this time, stay out of the cement pond. I don't know whether that's a yes or a no. But it better be a yes. I'm too old for this kind of foolishness. Oh, Elly. Thank heavens we's alone. Have you missed Mark?
Sure have, Granny.
Would you like to see him again, tall and handsome and in his uniform?
Is he here?
He will be. He will be. Just take him out of the cage and kiss him.
Well, Granny, I don't want to do that.
Well, you gotta take him out of the cage, Elly, or he'll swell up and bust it.
Well, Granny, I feel silly kissing a frog.
Well, I won't watch. You take him outside and do it.
All right, I'll take him outside. I'm awful sorry Granny keeps hauling you around in this here cage. There. Now you can hop down to the cement pond, have yourself a swim.
Hi, Elly, eh?
Hi, Mark.
I brought you scuba gear.
Thank you.
Who's your friend?
Oh, that's Granny's pet frog. She named him Mark.
I guess I should be flattered, but I'm not so sure.
Oh, she's right fond of him, but she keeps wanting me to kiss him.
She must be hoping he'll turn into a prince. Like I said before, who needs competition?
Thank you for another miracle. I'll try and keep him out of the water this time, so I won't have to bother you no more. Oh, bless you, Elly, for doing as I told you. Oh, Mark, you look wonderful.
Well, thank you, Granny.
I'll go get into my swimming suit and meet you down by the cement pond.
Fine.
Wait a minute. What was that?
Mark's gonna learn me to swim underwater and be a frog woman.
Oh, no, Elly, don't go near the water, and don't let him get wet again either.
Oh, it's all right, Granny.
Really it is, Granny.
You stay out of this, frog boy. Elly, listen to me, dear. Stay away from the cement pond, both of you.
Don't get upset, Granny. Mark won't let nothing happen to me.
He can't even stop what happens to him.
What are you talking about?
You don't remember what happened down at the cement pond?
No.
You don't remember me pulling you out and taking you to the doctor?
No.
You don't remember him telling you to stay out of the water?
No.
See? His brain shrinks up with his body.
Granny, that ain't nice.
Nice, it's downright ugly.
I'll meet you down to the pond, Mark.
Okay,
No,
Elly.
Elly, please, I'm pleading with you. Don't, please.
Granny, there's no danger. You can come and watch.
I wouldn't watch that gruesome sight for nothing.
I'll see you at the pool.
Oh, no, you won't.
Granny, let go.
Granny, get off his back.
You ain't turning my only granddaughter into no frog woman.
What's going on in here?
Granny's jumped on Mark's back and won't get off.
Granny, get down from there. Stop riding that boy.
Not until he promises to stay out of the water.
He can't promise that.
Well, then get a rope. We'll tie him up.
I'll tie you up. Get off his back.
No!
Hey, y'all playing horse and rider. Come on, Elly. Hop on my back and we'll joust him.
Jethro, we ain't playing. Now tote Granny up to her room and lock her in.
Hop on, Granny.
Stay away from me, you big boob.
Come on. All right, Jethro, tote her upstairs.
Now, let me go. Let me go, you big lunkhead. This whole family's gone crazy. Let me go. Help! What's going on in here? What is all this?
Elly is marrying Mark Templeton. This is Judge Marshall. He's going to perform the ceremony.
You can't do it, Judge. The groom is a frog man. When he gets wet, he turns frog.
Madam, please. The ceremony's about to begin. Here comes the best man.
Jethro, where's the groom?
We're running a little late. He wanted to take a shower.
Ooh, don't let him, Jethro. Please stop him from getting... It's too late. He got his head wet. Miss Jane, don't let him go through with this thing. Stop him, please. Dad, take a look at the groom. You can't let your daughter marry that thing.
Granny, please, this is a solemn occasion.
Solemn is pitiful.
We are gathered here to join this couple in wedlock. Who gives this woman to be married to this frog?
I do.
Mark Templeton, do you take this woman for your lawfully wedded wife? Elly May Clampett, do you take this frog to be your lawfully wedded husband?
Say no.
I do.
I now pronounce you frog and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Yes, Elly, kiss him. Maybe it'll turn him back into a man. No. Oh, no.
Have a nice honeymoon, youngins.
No. 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 Stop him, somebody. Stop him. Jed. Help, Jed. Help.
What's the matter, Granny?
Jed, did Elly May and that frog man get married, Jed?
No.
Oh, praise be. You can't let this courtship go any further, Jed.
Now, Granny.
Do as I say or you're going to hear the pitter-patter of little wet feet.
Granny, you come over here and take another one of these tranquilizers and light up. Granny, come back here.
This sure is a pretty scuba suit, Mark.
Well, I thought you ought to have something a little fancier in our Navy gear.
These flippers sure is hard to walk in.
A little awkward on land, but they'll feel great in the water.
Granny, stay away from the young'un.
Elly, Mark, get your feet out of the water quick. Oh, no. Too late.
Granny, come away from there.
But, Jed, look what's happening.
That's none of your concern. Come on now.
Don't get nothing else wet, I'm begging you. It'll be gruesome.
Say, does it look like a serious romance between Elly May and that Navy lieutenant?
Does indeed.
You know, if he marries Elly May, he's going to come into $30 or $40 million.
That's He will.
Oh, I love that boy. He's just like my own son.
Chief, you threw him out of your office. He can't stand you. He despises you.
Yeah, I've got to get on his good side and fast. Think of something.
When it comes to devious, underhanded schemes, no one can give you advice.
Yes, I guess I am pretty hard to beat. Oh, I think I've got the germ of an idea.
I'm sure germ is the perfect word.
Careful, Hathaway. One of these days, you're going to push my sweet, generous nature too far.
You are about as sweet and generous as a hungry wolf.
Hello, Lieutenant.
Oh, it's you. You're wearing Navy fatigues.
Aye, aye, sir. I always wear them when I swab the deck. I mean, wash off the patio.
You're Navy?
Didn't you know? Oh, yes, I went through the whole thing. Pearl, Guadalcanal, Midway, Coral Sea, Philippines. Oh, I really saw the action.
How'd you get hurt?
Oh, is it noticeable? Well, it only bothers me when I'm around water.
Shell fragment?
Shark bite.
Your ship went down, huh?
3 of them.
You really did see some action.
Well, I don't like to talk about it. But it was pretty rough out there. As my skipper used to say to me, Spunky, he'd say, we can't quit. We're Navy.
Well, let me ask you something. When I first walked into your office, I was wearing my Navy uniform. You treated me like dirt.
Well, son, I'll level with you. For 5 long years, I took orders from officers. Kids not dry behind the ears. 90-day wonders barking at me. Swab that deck, sailor. Polish that gun, Mac. Tote that shell. Lift that hatch. When I saw you walking in wearing that officer's uniform, all came back to me. I just saw red.
I can understand that.
No hard feelings, sir?
Of course not. And don't call me sir.
Thanks, mate.
Oh, no, there's all frog but the head.
Aren't they a great couple? I'm responsible for that, you know.
Yeah, I'm glad you reminded me. All 3 of you can go frog together.
Did Granny sure enough push Mr. Drysdale in the cement pond?
Like to drown the poor man.
I wish somebody would drown me so I don't have to see the monstrous trouble that's coming to this family. A bunch of frog brains, that's what you are.
Put her on the bed.
Put me down, you big lummox. Put me down.
Now, take another one of them tranquilizers and get some sleep.
I don't want to go to sleep. I'll have another horrible nightmare.
Well, stay in here and get some rest anyway. Now, Jethro, I want you to lock this door, stand guard, and don't open it. Can you understand that?
Of course I can. You're talking to a 6th grade educated brain.
Fine.
I'll just stay out here and read old Jim Owen's book. It's full of funny stuff.
Yeah, that might be just a thing to get Granny's mind off her troubles. Let me have that. Granny, I got something here that's going to cheer you up. Old Jim Owen from back home wrote a book, and it's a dandy. Old Jim says right here on the back page, if you're too busy to fish, you're too busy.
I don't want to hear nothing about fish, nor frogs, nor nothing that comes out of the water.
Well, now, here's a good one. You listen to this. A while back, a friend of mine had money trouble, and I helped him out. He says, I won't forget you, Jim. And he kept his word. He's in trouble again, and he just called me. Well, I reckon you're just not in the mood for funny stories. Well, have a good rest. Jethro,
What you want?
open the door.
I can't. I got orders to keep it locked.
I'm the one that give you the orders.
Yes, sir. And my 6th grade educated brain is hanging on to 'em.
Jethro, unlock the door and I'll feed you. Good boy.
Thank you. Did the book cheer her up?
Oh, I'm afraid not.
Hey, I know something that might. Remember that frog she had in the cage she was so crazy about?
Yeah, she did seem right took with that thing.
Well, maybe I could find it and fetch it to her.
Worth a try.
I'll do her.
Found him, huh?
Found 2 of them down by the cement pond.
Fine. Now, if Granny's asleep, don't wake her.
Gotcha. Hey, Granny, what you doing?
Oh, Jethro, I spilled some water on the bed, and I'm hanging the sheets out to dry.
Oh, well, I found these 2 frogs swimming in the cement pond. Figured they might be good company for you.
Mark and Elly, why wouldn't you listen to me? If I told you once, I told you a dozen times to stay out of the water. Now look at you. Won't do you no good to kiss now. You're both frogs. Well, let's hope and pray that Dr. Klingner can help you. Sorry to bother you again, Doctor.
Not at all. I was hoping you'd come back.
You remember Mark Templeton, the lieutenant in the United States Navy?
Oh, of course. Hello again, Lieutenant.
The other one is my granddaughter, Elly May.
Oh, this is the girl you told me about, the one who's in love with Mark here.
Yes. She's a beautiful girl, Doctor.
They're a handsome couple.
They want to get married, but who's going to give them 2 a wedding?
Well, I wouldn't let that worry me. In their case, a marriage ceremony isn't really important.
Doctor, what are you suggesting?
Well, I mean, they're just...
I can't speak for him. He's a sailor. But my granddaughter was raised up proper. She's a decent church-going girl.
She goes to church.
Every Sunday. Back home, she used to sing in the choir.
Oh, well, that does shed a different light on the situation. We must observe the proprieties, the conventions.
You bet your cotton-picking pill bottle. Elly's gonna have a beautiful wedding with flower girls and everything.
Fine. Well, now, suppose you take them back home now and call me for a regular appointment.
There ain't no use for me to take them home. I've done all I can for them. Now it's up to you.
What exactly is up to me?
You got to turn them 2 frogs into a handsome Navy lieutenant and a beautiful blonde girl.
Well, that's going to take some doing.
Take your time. I'm leaving here. And when you've earned your fee, you have Miss Jane drive them home.
Miss Jane, that would be Miss Hathaway?
Yep. She's the one that recommended you. Says you're the greatest there is.
Well,
All you gotta do now is prove it.
Get me Miss Hathaway, please. Dr. Freud, I've read everything you've ever written, but you never covered this one.
She told you what?
She said she was hanging the sheets out the window to dry. And she was right. They're as dry as a bone.
Boy, you are not to be believed.
Oh, but thank you.
Go out and find your granny.
I don't know where she is.
Go find her! Get moving!
Yes, sir. Yes, yes, yes.
Sure do thank you for the scuba lesson, Mark.
How about another one tomorrow?
Dandy. Oh, come in.
Hello, young lovers.
Howdy, Miss Jane.
Hello, Miss Hathaway.
Well, Elly May, this time I brought you 2 frogs.
Oh, them poor critters. I sure do wish Granny'd stop putting them in cages.
Miss Jane's car. Maybe the doctor done it. Oh, Mark, you're all right. Oh, praise be. Oh, Elly, you're beautiful. Oh, young'uns, I'm so happy. Miss Jane, thank you. And thank Dr. Klingner for me, too. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta go up and lay down. I am dog-tired, plumb wrung out. But before I go, young'uns, promise me you'll never go near the water again.
But, Granny, we can't do that.
In fact, I'm giving Elly another frog woman lesson in the morning.
No!
out!
Granny!
Granny, get off!
Granny, you're riding that boy again. Get off of him.
Ned Fleming went in search of his grandfather.
Isn't this great?
Are we finished bonding yet?
What he found was himself.
Maybe for the first time, you feel alive.
It's taken me 20 years to become a part of your life. I'm staying right here.
Mel Harris, Edward Asner, Out of the Woods, Tuesday at 9 on Hallmark Channel. For Judge Amy Gray.
Your Honor, in closing...
Sit down, Mr. Rhodes. I'm ruling.
There's only one thing more challenging than family court.
I'm looking at this as a judge. Well, stop it.
Family life. Amy Brenneman and Tom.
The Beverly Hillbillies.
What you doing, boy?
Oh, Elly's fella said I could try on his frogman's outfit.
Oh, is Mark here?
Oh, not yet, but he's coming.
Well, don't let Granny see you wearing this stuff.
Hey, how come Granny's so dead set against Elly's fella being a frogman?
Granny's scared of the water. I remember back home, when the cricket rise, you couldn't get her to cross it for love nor money.
I recollect Ma saying that Granny wouldn't set foot outside the cabin in a heavy rain.
That's a fact. I remember one time the creek rose, cut Granny off from her still for a whole month.
Well, what'd she do?
Nothing she could do. Considering the fact we was having a flood, that was the longest dry spell Granny ever had.
Has she always been like that?
Long as I can remember. I wish I had a nickel for every time I heard that woman say,
If the good Lord had meant us to swim in the water, he'd have give us fins and gills. And I hope you explain that to Mark Templeton.
But Granny, Mark can't stay out of the water. It's his job. He's a Navy frogman.
Then get him to quit.
But we both likes the water.
Darling, it ain't natural for humans.
It's fun, Granny. Even Jethro wants to be a frogman.
Oh, no. If Jethro turns into a frogman, his ma will kill me.
Well, Jethro's done said that's what he wants to do.
Well, him I can handle. I'll just cut off his victuals.
Speaking of victuals, Mark says there's more food in the ocean than any other place.
Oh, so that's why Jethro wants to be a frogman.
Mark says there's enough food in the ocean to feed the whole world for hundreds of years.
Not after Jethro's been there for a couple of days.
Elly Mae?
In the kitchen, Pa.
Mark's here.
Morning, Elly. Granny.
Howdy, Mark.
Good morning, young fella. Now, Elliot, would you and your pa mind running on for a minute? I got a few things I want to say to Mark.
Oh, yes, Granny.
Now, Mark, something you want, Jed?
Yeah, I want to hear what you're going to say to Mark.
Oh, well, I was just going to tell him how much he resembled John Wayne. He's a cowboy actor, you know.
Yes, I know.
You ever think of being a cowboy?
No, I never have.
Oh, you'd sit tall in the saddle just like John. Up there where it's nice and dry.
I'm afraid I'm not much of a horseman.
Well, it's better than being a frogman.
I was afraid that was coming. Now, Granny, you're just going to have to get used to the notion that Mark likes it, Elly is took with it, and Jethro is in the cement pond right now learning how to be a frogman.
He's in the water already?
Yes.
Oh, I gotta save him! He's Pearl's baby!
Who's Pearl?
Jethro's ma. And the only woman I know who is as scared of water is Granny.
Hello, Froggy. You can have the cement pond all to yourself. This rubber suit is hot once you get out of the water. Hey, there's some bugs down at the deep end.
Please don't let it be too late for Pearl's sake. Amen. you in there, honey boy? Speak to me. Oh, no. I didn't make it. I'm sorry, Pearl. I've done my best. But you'll be happy to know that he's alive and well and eating as usual. Come on over here, Jethro. Come on, boy. I'll try and get a pretty girl to kiss you. And if that don't work, I'll have to take you to that psychiatrist. Come on, boy. Come on over here. Stop eating them bugs and listen to me. I'm sorry to keep bothering you all the time, Doctor.
Not at all. That's what I'm here for.
None of the girls in the secretarial pool would help me. So now you're my only hope.
Well, I'm glad to know you have faith in me.
Oh, I do. You work wonders with Mark and Elly.
Oh, yes, they're the frogs you brought in yesterday. Lovely couple.
Thanks to you.
Did they get married?
Not yet. We can't keep them out of the water long enough to have a wedding.
Still hoping for a formal wedding, are you?
Oh, sure. Jethro here is going to be the best man.
Oh, this is Jethro.
Yeah. He's Elly's cousin, Pearl's boy.
Well, how nice. Well, now, what can I do to help you today?
You can tell Jethro here to stay out of the water. He won't listen to me.
Jethro, stay out of the water, please. For Granny's sake.
And for his mama's sake. Pearl is scared to death of water.
His mother is scared of water?
Won't go near it.
Well, that's very unusual. She's aquatic.
No, she's a Bodine. I don't recollect aquatics. Anyway, Pearl married Fred Bodine, handsome rascal. He come up from Branson, swept Pearl right off of her feet. Poor fella drowned, though.
He drowned?
When Jethro was still a baby. I think that's why Pearl is so scared of water. His paw drowning that way.
Why, don't believe I've ever heard of one of them drowning.
Far as I know, he's the only Bodine who ever did. He was out in a boat with Jim Owen, and it turned over.
And he couldn't swim to shore?
No. The water in Lake Taneycomo is just icy cold. Old Jim died for him time after time. They finally pulled him out unconscious.
Well, old Jim certainly tried his best.
You know Jim, do you?
Not personally, no.
He just wrote a book.
Oh, about the tragedy.
No, it's a book of jokes and funny stories.
Well, he certainly got over it, didn't he?
Well, time is the great healer, as us doctors know.
You're a doctor?
Oh, yeah.
Are you an MD?
That's right. Mountain doctor. I just wish I was good enough to cure Jethro. But you're the only one that can do that. So, I'll leave him with you.
Well, now, just exactly what am I supposed to do for Jethro?
Turn him back the way he was, like you done for Mark and Elly. You work wonders with them. Elly's beautiful and Mark's handsome as can be.
Oh, and you want me to make Jethro here handsome?
No, I'll settle for having him the way he was.
You rang, Chief?
I've been ringing for 20 minutes. Where have you been?
I took the girls in the secretarial pool out for a coffee break. They've been through quite an ordeal.
What happened?
Well, it seems Granny took that frog of hers in and insisted they kiss the loathsome creature.
Well, did they?
Well, of course not.
They're fired.
What?
Miss Hathaway, that family has $95 million in this bank, and if they want something kissed, it gets kissed.
But, Chief, a frog!
Frog, hog, dog. I demand loyalty and intelligence.
What is intelligent about...
Is Granny here with that frog she wants kissed?
No. Have you tried the secretarial pool?
Yeah. They wouldn't kiss me neither.
Mr. Gosdale's office. Oh, yes, Dr. Klingner. She did. Yes, well, I'll take care of it right away. Jethro, Dr. Klingner on the next floor has Granny's frog. Will you pick it up, please, and take it home?
You mean I ain't gonna get kissed?
Go see Dr. Klingner.
I ain't gonna kiss him. All right, Froggy. Up around to the cement pond and have yourself another swim. You're commencing to look dried out.
Hello, Jed.
Hey, you look all bush. What's the matter?
I am. That's a long walk from the bank. Even if you cut across, you gotta jump walls and climb fences.
How come you didn't let Jethro drive you?
Jed, that boy is in no shape to drive.
Why not?
Don't ask me. I might have to tell Pearl. And it's not the kind of thing you want to say twice.
Now you got me plumb curious. Couldn't you just...
Cage, Granny.
You're back, honey boy. Oh, let me look at you. Turn around. Oh, you're all right. Jeddy's all right. Tell him he's all right, Jed.
You're all right, boy.
Oh, you're beautiful, darling. Tell him he's beautiful, Jed.
You're all right, boy.
Oh, I'm so happy to see you, darling. Pearl, sweet baby boy. Oh, Jethro, I love you. Tell him you love him, Jed.
You're all right, boy.
Oh, my baby. Oh, I could hug you. Hug him, Jed.
I'm sticking with your all right, boy.
Hey, Granny, I'm awful hungry. Can I have some victuals?
Come and sit down, darling. Granny will fix you some delicious victuals for that sweet little rosebud mouth. Look at your sweet little rosebud mouth, Jed.
This is getting sickening. See you later. Well, youngins, how you doing?
Just fine, Paul. This scuba diving's fun. You ought to try.
That's an idea, Miss Clampett. I think my gear will fit you.
I believe I'll pass on that.
Well, you're a good swimmer.
Well, yeah, but I ain't up to that underwater stuff.
I'll teach you. It's easy.
Come on, Paul, try.
No, darling, I'm a little over the hill for this kind of thing.
A lot of people your age scuba dive.
Sure enough?
I know a man got to be 20 years older than you are. Dives every day.
Is that a fact?
Come on, Paul, be a sport.
Well, I guess it wouldn't do no harm to give it a try.
That's the spirit.
You'll like it.
How would you like some salted down possum shanks instead of chicken?
Fine with me.
I just happen to have a jar of them over here in the cupboard. I was saving them for a special occasion. And you're it, honey boy.
Jethro, can Paul borrow your swimming trunks?
Sure, Elly. He's up in my room.
Ellie Mae, what does your pa want with swimming trunks?
Mark's gonna learn him to be a frogman.
Oh, no. Not him, too.
Jethro, did Ellie come through here?
Yes, sir. She's fetching my swim trunks for you.
Well, I don't want her to say nothing to Granny about me being a frogman. But I'm going to give it a try.
Oh, no, you ain't.
Granny, get off!
You ain't gonna be no frogman. You're the last one I got left.
Jethro, get this wildcat off my back.
Okay, Uncle Jeb. Because I finished these victuals.
Get her off now.
Here's the swimming trunks, Paul.
We'd best keep them out of sight, Ellie. Your granny's having a conniption fit.
Put me down, you lop-eared jackass.
But, Granny, you said I was your honey boy. You said I was beautiful. You said I had a rosebud mouth.
If I could get a swing at you, you'd have a rosebud nose.
Take her up to her room, Jethro.
Ellie, don't let your pa become a frogman. I'm begging you.
But he wants to, Granny.
Then get a gun and shoot me. I don't want to live with a family of frogs.
Take her on up, Jethro. We'll give her one of them tranquilizers.
Give me gas. Hang me. Poleaxe me. Please, somebody end my suffering.
You go on down to the cement pond, Ellie. Quick as we get Granny quiet, I'll join you.
Yes, sir, Pop.
Granny, I'll put you on your bed so she can have a little nap.
Don't bother. Just throw me in my cedar chest, nail the lid down, and bury me 6 feet deep.
Okay.
What are you doing, boy?
Oh, Granny wants to be buried in her cedar chest. Hey, you nail down the lid, I'll go dig a hole.
Take her out of there.
But you always told me to obey Granny.
Take her out there and put her on the bed.
Golly.
Don't bother, Jethro. Just throw me out the window.
What are you doing now?
Well, Granny wants to get thrown out the window. Would you please open it for me?
Bring her back here like I said.
You tell me to do one thing, she tells me to do another. I don't know who to listen to.
Listen to me. Put her on the bed. Your granny, swallow this.
Is it poison?
Of course not.
Then I don't want it.
I know where there's some poison.
Boy, wait out in the hall.
Oh, you try to please everybody, and all you get is yelled at. You say this, I say that. I don't know who to listen to. You tell me.
Hey, take one of these tranquilizers, Granny.
Well, if I do, will you promise to stay out of the water?
No, I won't.
Well, I'm warning you. Jethro will eat your legs.
Maybe you better take 2 of these.
Now, you run along, Jed. I'll be just fine.
That's good. Just rest.
Yeah, that's what I'll do, Jed. I'll just rest.
That's my granny.
You're a dear, sweet man, Jed. I love you.
I love you too, Granny. No use trying the window. I nail it shut.
You're a mean man, Jed. And you're gonna be a mean frog.
That was wonderful, Mr. Clampett.
Did you say something?
You were great. Just great.
Thank you.
How'd you like it, Pa?
It's fun, just like you said.
Father's just like you and Jethro. Natural. Now, we can only convince Granny.
Forget it. Oh, did you unlock Granny's door?
Yes, sir, Pa.
How is she?
Well, she's just laying on her bed muttering to herself about how she'd have to go see Dr. Klingner again.
Where you going, Granny?
Down to the cement pond and get the latest frog.
Oh, did you change your mind? Gonna cook his legs for me?
Cannibal.
Excuse me, young'uns, I'll get Shed of this outfit.
Who's Dr. Klingner?
He's a psychiatrist Granny's seeing.
Good. Maybe he can cure aquaphobia.
Or what?
Fear of water.
Oh, I sure do hope so. Granny's pet frog.
Is that the one she named Mark?
I don't know. I can't tell them apart.
She seems to be able to. Hi, Granny.
Howdy.
Would you like a ride down to Dr. Klingner's office?
I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Where's your paw?
He's changing.
He's changed. Come on over here, Jed.
That's a different one.
I'm glad I'm not the only one she names frogs after.
Come on, Jed. Swim over here and get in your cage. We got to ride down to Dr. Klingner's office. I hate to keep pestering you, Doctor, but you've done such a good job on Jethro.
Yes, he does seem to look happy.
Oh, this ain't Jethro. This is his uncle, Jed Clampett.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Clampett.
Don't apologize to him. He brought it on himself. I begged him. I pleaded with him. He wouldn't listen. You'd think he'd know better at his age.
Just how old is he?
He's in his 50s.
Really? I didn't know they lived that long.
Oh, yeah. His grandpa lived to be over 100.
Fantastic. Then, of course, many of the amphibious families do have a remarkable lifespan. For example, the terrapins.
I don't believe I know that family. Is they friends of the aquatics?
Yes, they're related.
Oh. Well, I hope the terrapins ain't having the trouble with their kinfolks that I'm having with mine. Especially him. I'm ashamed to admit that he's my son-in-law.
This one is your son-in-law.
Yeah, he's Ellie's pa.
Oh, Pearl's cousin, the one Jethro calls Uncle Jed.
That's right. And I'm Granny to all of them.
Yes. Well, now, what seems to be Jed's problem?
His problem is that he's a frog.
Yes, he definitely is a frog.
And it's so stupid. He's got everything.
What do you mean?
He's worth $95 million.
He is?
Owns a mansion in Beverly Hills. But is he content to stay in it? No, not him. He's got to jump in the cement pond like the rest of his family.
Well, they're just naturally drawn to water.
That's the truth. and I'm getting sick of it. Well, I'll leave him with you, and I hope you can do for him what you done for Jethro.
I'm sure I can.
Bless you, Doctor. I ain't gonna ask you how you do it. You got your professional secrets, and I got mine.
Right, Doctor.
My specialties is poultice and risins and ease and rheumatiz.
Excellent fields.
If you ever gets to aching in the joints, I got some rheumatiz medicine that's out of this world.
Will it actually cure rheumatism?
No, but it'll make you happy you got it.
Greetings, Mr. Clampett.
Howdy, Miss Jane. Come on in.
Thank you, Mr. Clampett. I'm afraid I haven't time. Dr. Klingner asked me to return Granny's frog. She left it in his office again.
Funny how that woman has took a fondness to these little critters.
Apparently. Well, au revoir.
Oh, thank you.
If you're not hopping hedges, you're dodging dogs. Get off of there and go on back home, you little mutt.
Here's your cage back, Granny.
Glory, hallelujah, Dr. Klingner done it again.
That's right.
Do you have a craving to eat bugs, Jed?
Of course not.
Good. Take off your shoes and I'll check your feet.
No more of this for you, Granny. You've had plenty.
The award-winning series where family matters.
Where did you get the nerve to do that? From you.
Judging Amy, Monday at 3 and 9 on Hallmark Channel.
Everything we found indicates that he's the one. Can you help?
For top defense attorney Mike McBride, there's more to this case than meets the eye. See John LaRoquette in the Hallmark Channel mystery movie, McBride, The Chameleon Murder, Friday night at 9. Only on the Hallmark Channel.
Y'all come back now. Here.
This has been a Filmways presentation.
The Beverly Hillbillies.
Now watch, Duke. I'm going to show you one more time how to fetch a stick.
Jethro, can't you do that out back? Mark's coming by, and I don't want him to see you crawling around like a nut.
Who you calling a nut?
You. You've been trying to learn that dog to fetch a stick for 10 years.
Well, it takes time. He ain't as bright as I am. What you doing, young'un? I'm learning Duke to fetch a stick.
And I don't want Mark to see him.
Don't worry, darling. Come on, boy. I got something a lot better than fetching sticks. Got a nice juicy bone for you.
Ah, dog. Lead me to it.
The bone is for Duke.
How do you like that? I do all the tricks. The dumb old hound dog gets the reward.
Well, take Duke around back and you can share the bone with him.
You don't expect me to gnaw on the same bone with this old hound dog, do you? That's what you call unsanitary.
He's right, Paul. Duke might catch something.
You gonna get yours, cousin.
Jethro, you and Duke make yourself scarce.
Thanks, Paul.
Come on, Duke. Let's you and me go around back. Hey, Uncle Jed, did you see that? He done it. He finally done it. He picked up the stick. Hey, why do you reckon he's taking it around back?
So you can fetch it for him some more. He likes that.
Oh.
Howdy, Mark.
Morning, Miss Clampett.
Oh, I'm glad I caught you. I got a little word of caution.
Oh, what's that?
Don't say nothing to Granny about going in the water or making Elly into a frog woman. It plumb sets her off.
I know. I think maybe I got a way to win her over.
I'd like to hear it.
Well, if Granny could ever see the fascinating world that lies under the surface of the ocean.
You can stop right there. There ain't nobody gonna get that little woman under the water.
I'm sure of that. But I brought along a projector and screen and some underwater film.
Oh, I see what you're getting at.
Believe me, Mr. Clampett, when we show this to Granny, she'll be as hooked as everyone else who's ever had a glimpse of the wonders that exist in the ocean depths.
My doggy's mark could be you got the problem whooped. He's only taking you there on film.
He ain't taking me there on nothing. Put me down. Help! Elly, help! They're gonna drown me.
Ain't nobody gonna drown you, Granny. Mark's gonna show you a movie.
A movie?
That's right, Granny. I think you'll enjoy it.
Is it a Western? I love cowboy pictures.
This isn't exactly a cowboy picture, but I'm sure you'll like it.
Well, let's all sit down and watch together. Must be mighty interesting exploring under the sea.
It's not only interesting, Mr. Clampett, it's necessary for the survival of the human race.
Is that a fact?
We're gonna have to learn to farm the sea to feed the people of the earth.
Do tell.
Mark knows a heap about it, Pa.
Well, I'd like to hear more.
Look, Granny, ain't that pretty?
Not to me, it ain't. Looks like the time the creek rose and flooded the tater patch.
That's where folks is gonna do their farming someday, Granny.
Well, they sure is gonna have rusty plows. That thing looks like an underwater bat.
Hey, Granny, look at all the fish.
Fish only looks good in a skillet.
Yeah, I bet you never thought there was things like that under the ocean.
No, and let it stay there. Water is for fish and land is for people, and let's keep it that way.
Water isn't such an unnatural place for us, Granny. Many scientists believe that originally we came from the sea.
The only sea I come from was Tennessee.
But, Granny, it's so beautiful down there. I just love to see it.
Honey, you don't know what you're saying. You gotta be a nut to want to go down there.
I want to go.
See what I mean?
Granny, everybody got a right to their own opinion.
Not when they're wrong. Now, Mark, you listen to me. You give up this frogman nonsense and be a cowboy.
Me, a cowboy?
That's right. A range-riding, calf-roping, dust-kicking cowboy. Live on a ranch and raise babies, not guppies.
Don't mind Granny. She's kind of set in her ways.
Yeah, you could plant that little woman and grow 10 acres of stubborn.
I like the picture, Mark. Made me hungry for fish.
Good morning, Chief. Sorry I'm a little late, but what in the world is all this?
All this, Miss Hathaway, is to impress the young Navy lieutenant who, if he marries Elly Mae Clampett, will come into $40 or $50 million.
You expect to impress him with this? The first time he was here, you throw him out of the office.
Oh, I explained that to him. The natural resentment of a lowly sailor toward an officer.
Lowly sailor, you were in the Army.
That is a secret which shall remain a secret. To Lieutenant Mark Templeton, I am Spunky Drysdale of the United States Navy.
Spunky Drysdale?
3 ships went down under me.
Only 3.
Well, I didn't want to overdo it.
Why the limp?
Shark bite.
Chief, you are not to be believed.
Well, he believed me. To him, I'm as Navy as Bull Halsey.
Well, you certainly fit the first half of that name.
Watch it, Hathaway.
Oh, but Chief,
Skipper to you. Now think Navy. This is a ship. I am the skipper. You are just one of my crew.
Request permission to mutiny?
Stow that kind of talk, sailor. Now, in 15 minutes, I'm expecting Lieutenant Templeton. I want everything ship-shape fore and aft. Hatches battened, bulkheads secured, all hands at the ready. Now, here's your bosun's whistle, your navy blouse, your hat. Now, heave to.
I may at any moment.
Off the bridge! Off the bridge!
You know, it's kind of hard hard for an old dirt farmer like me to understand that notion about farming the sea.
But you fared, huh, Pa?
Oh, I am for a fact. The way he explains it makes a lot of sense.
Of course, the most important thing is that we use the resources of the oceans intelligently, not pollute them as we have our atmosphere. And that takes research. Research takes money.
Well, money is something I happen to have a lot of. You recollect how much, Elly?
Well, last time I heard it was somewhere betwixt 95 and 100 million.
Yeah. Well, what if I was to take about 40, 50 million and chuck it into this research?
I can't think of a better cause than oceanography.
Well, let's talk some more about this after you see Mr. Drysdale.
Okay.
What are you seeing him about, Mark?
He didn't say, Elly. Just asked me to drop by the bank at 11 o'clock.
Well, see you when you get back.
Bye.
Bye.
Lieutenant Mark Templeton to see you, sir.
Pipe him aboard. Ahoy, Lieutenant. Welcome to the bridge.
Hey, you really are Navy, aren't you?
Ah, it's in my blood. Stand watch, Hathaway. See that we're not disturbed.
Aye, sir.
What time is my next appointment?
Lunch at 12 o'clock.
What was that, sailor?
Sorry, Skipper. Mess at 8 bells.
That's better. Shape up or ship out.
Aye, sir.
And secure that hatch.
You know, I don't remember your office being like this. Of course, you threw me out so fast, I really didn't get a good look.
Well, Lieutenant, I explained that. It was suddenly seeing this uniform and having those war years flash before me. Hearing those young officers yell at me, man that gun, defuse that faulty torpedo.
I know, it must have been rough.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not grousing. It was great training. It taught me how to run this bank the way a captain runs a ship, the just way, the honest way, the Navy way.
Sorry to see that shark bite still bothering you.
A life of pain is a small price to pay for those qualities the Navy gave to me. Character, integrity, and courage.
You're a good man, Spunky Drysdale.
Gosh, sir. No one's called me that since I pulled the skipper out of the water at Midway. But I didn't ask you in to hear about my 5 years of self-sacrifice and devotion. I want to know how things are going with you and Elly May.
Oh, fine. She's a wonderful girl.
And her father's a wonderful man. Wise, too. You know, he keeps his entire fortune in my bank because he knows it has the strength and security of a battleship. And if you should ever come into some money, I'm sure you'll do the same.
Speaking of Mr. Clampet's fortune, you talked to me only this morning about the possibility of taking 40 or 50 million.
My boy, tell me more.
Yes, I think it will interest you because you love the sea, don't you?
Love the sea? Mark, my boy, when this old sailor's heart stops beating in this shark-ravaged body, I want it taken out on the bosom of the Pacific and lowered into the everlasting embrace of Mother Ocean.
You really love it.
More than life itself.
Well, that's great, because you may want to make a donation yourself.
Donation? To what?
Oceanography. That's what Mr. Clampett wants to donate 40 or 50 million for.
Oceanography?
Yes, he's convinced that marine research is...
Where did he get that stupid idea?
Well, for me, but I wouldn't call it stupid.
You're right. Insane is a better word.
Mr. Drysdale, it's for the sea.
It's for the birds. Hathaway on the double.
Aye, sir. You want the lieutenant piped over the side?
I want him thrown over the side.
What?
Get him out of here. If he gives you any trouble, call the shore patrol and have him locked up. He's dangerous.
What happened?
He suddenly went berserk.
Now hear this, off the bridge. Out! Out! They'll lock him in a brig and throw away the key. Lieutenant Lunkhead, the maniac. 50 million in the ocean.
Hello. Oh, howdy, Mr. Drysdale.
Oh, listen, Granny. Now, whatever you do, don't let Elly get serious about this Lieutenant Templeton. The man's as nutty as a fruitcake.
I've been telling everybody he's a frog brain, but nobody'll listen.
I'll listen. I'm on your side.
Good. That makes 3 of us.
And we'll win. Who's the third one?
Jethro.
Maybe we'll win anyway. I'll be right over.
Hey, what's going on?
We saw going down to the cement pond for another scuba lesson.
Where you been?
Fishing?
Catch anything?
Nothing but a mess of frogs. I'm gonna tote them out to the kitchen so that Granny...
Oh, boy, don't bring Granny no frogs to cook.
Oh, I forgot. She done took a sudden fondness to them critters.
Granny's making pets out of them.
I think she's got one name for every member of the family. And me, too.
I don't know if she does that for love or spite.
Jethro, give me the frogs. We'll tote them down Cement Pond and turn them loose.
Okay. Hey, listen, how about me having another scuba lesson, too?
Come along. There's plenty of gear.
Jethro, I'm surprised you ain't too hungry to swim.
I was, but I stopped off at Mama Elly's and had me 24 pizzas.
24? All alone?
Oh, no. Had them with spaghetti and meatballs and macaroni and cheese and spumoni, rigatoni, mustard
Where you been, Mr. Drysdale?
Spying on the enemy. They're all down at the swimming pool learning to swim underwater.
Oh, here we go again. They's gonna turn into frogs.
They look like 4 frogs now.
Well, sit down and have some... 4?
Yes, Mark, Elly, Mr. Clampett, and Jethro.
Jethro's gone over to their side.
Yeah, things are starting to look up. Thank you. Now, let's plan our strategy. We've got to stop Mark Templeton from marrying Elly May.
He can't marry nobody the shape he's in now.
That's the truth. He wants to pour millions of dollars into the ocean. He hasn't got a brain in his head.
Oh, it's there, but it's shrunk up. Ain't any bigger than the end of your thumb.
I doubt if it's that big.
Well, there's only one person that can help him now. That's Dr. Klingner.
The psychiatrist in my building?
Yeah, Miss Jane told me. He's a whiz.
I hear he's brilliant.
He's the only one that can change Mark when he goes froggy.
Mark has been to Dr. Klingner?
Oh, I had him there a couple of times. Straightened him right out.
Well, take him back. Take him back.
Might as well take all 4 of them.
Good idea. Group therapy.
Well, there you are, Doctor, and the whole stupid family. Jethro, Elly May, and Lieutenant Mark Templeton.
Who's that little fellow?
I don't know. Must be some neighborhood kid that jumped in the pond with them. Well, you know what to do. Miss Jane is waiting to drive them home, quick as you work your magic. Come in, Miss Hathaway. You know Dr. Klingner.
Yes, hello, Doctor.
Miss Hathaway.
Well, see you at home.
Well, how will you get there?
Oh, I want to walk. I need time to think and pray.
That little lady has the most extraordinary frog fixation. She thinks these frogs here are her family.
Who's the little one?
Neighbor kid. The most remarkable manifestation is her absolute conviction that that one is a lieutenant in the United States Navy.
He is. Well, just his real-life counterpart, Doctor. He's a naval frogman.
Oh.
He's teaching the rest of the family to scuba dive, and Granny is convinced that every time they go underwater, they turn into frogs. She's an extreme aquaphobic.
Oh, well, now I'm beginning to understand. Well, the first thing we must do is to try and treat her aquaphobia.
Well, that won't be easy.
Well, fortunately, she seems to have complete confidence in me, and scuba diving is a hobby of mine.
Well, that's wonderful. Once she sees you in the water, her fears will vanish.
Well, it's worth a try. Oh, can you drive me over?
Oh, of course.
Oh. Sharon, would you mind rounding up these frogs?
Oh, of course, darling.
And I'll be back for my 2 o'clock appointment.
George, I don't think she knows that we're married.
Oh, you're Mrs. Klingner.
Right,
I was about to apply for your job.
Bye-bye.
Dr. Klingner, this is Jed Clampett.
Pleased to meet you, Doctor.
Mr. Clampett?
Elly May?
Howdy, Doctor.
Elly, you're much lovelier as a girl than you were as a frog.
And this is Jethro.
Howdy, Doc.
Jethro?
And Lieutenant Mark Templeton.
Glad to hear you're a scuba enthusiast, Doctor.
Well, I haven't had too much practice lately, but I still think I can put on a demonstration for Granny.
Isn't that a marvelous idea?
Sure is. Brilliant.
Well, it's a start. Now, I think it's very important that when Granny gets here, we two be alone.
Oh, we'll make ourselves scarce.
You'll find plenty of gear over there in the dressing room.
Oh, thank you.
Come on, everybody. I sure do hope this will help Granny get over being scared of water.
If anyone can help Granny,
Yonder comes Granny.
he done it again. Let me look at you. Oh, you're beautiful, perfect, just like you was. Oh, I'm so happy. Miss Jane, thank you for fetching him home. And thank Dr. Klingner for another miracle.
Well, you can thank him yourself, Granny. He's here.
Dr. Klingner?
That's right.
Where?
He's fixing to go into the cement pond and swim underwater.
Oh, no, not him.
That's right, Granny. See, Granny, we ain't so crazy. He wants to be a frogman himself.
Oh, no, I gotta stop him. Oh. Doctor, if you're in there, get out quick before it's too late. The longer you stay under the water, the more chance you have of turning into a... Oh, no! Doctor, you of all people, after you've seen what happened to the others, how could you do it? I don't know nobody that can change you back. What's that pretty secretary of yours gonna think when you hop in looking like that? To say nothing of your next patient. Oh, well, all I can do is take you down there and try and explain how it happened. Come on now. Come on over here. Get in the sack. Now, darling, before I show you what's in this sack, I want to ask you, how long have you been the doctor's secretary?
Oh, golly, let's see. I worked for him a year before we got married, so that would be going on about...
You're his wife?
That's right.
Oh, me. That's going to make it double hard.
Hard to what?
To open this sack. Before I do, I want you to think back to your wedding vows. Remember how you promised to take the doctor for better or for worse?
Yes.
Well, you've had the better. Here comes the worst. There he is, honey.
Who?
Your lawful wedded husband, George M. Klingner, Jr.
Yes, of course. Yes, hi, George. My, you certainly are looking well.
Mrs. Klingner, you're a brave woman, and you're taking this real good. But let's face it, he don't look well. He's a mess.
Well, he certainly isn't the man I married.
That's for sure. What do you aim to do with him?
I think I'll take him home to the children.
You got young'uns?
Yes. They might enjoy keeping him in the fish pond.
Mrs. Klingner, it's one thing to be brave, but if that man ever needed love and affection, he needs it now.
Yes, and you're right, and I will see that he does get it.
Just remembered something. It might be our salvation. Do you remember the story of the pretty girl that kissed the frog and turned him into a handsome prince?
Yes.
Try it.
Well, I hardly think that
I've seen it work, darling. Try it. Pick him up in your hands and kiss him.
Well, I don't...
I won't watch. I know it's embarrassing. Elly felt the same way. I'll leave.
Thank you.
Good luck, and I'll be praying for you.
Well, George, you wanted to be a psychiatrist.
Hi, hon. Everything all right?
The frog lady was just here.
Granny.
Yes.
So that's why I missed her at the swimming pool. Who's that?
You.
Handsome devil, isn't he?
I think so.
This has been a Filmways presentation.
Viacom. The Beverly Hillbillies.
This here's a seal, Pa. Mark give him to me.
Is that a fact?
Yes, sir. Look like I done learned it. Fetch it, boy.
What you aim to do with him?
Learn to be helpful. Mark says when we goes to farm in the ocean, we'll use critters like this for farming. How do you like that, Paul?
That's right, clever, Elly. I don't see how much use that'd be around a farm.
Well, I'll commence learning other things as quick as Mark gets here.
Elly, does Granny know that Mark gave you that critter?
No, sir, not yet.
Well, I believe I'd keep it that way if I was you. It'd just get her riled.
Well, I think we're safe for a while, Paul. Granny's been sticking real close to the house this morning. Almost like she's expecting somebody.
Shorty!
I'm here, Granny. Shorty to the rescue.
I told you to get here as fast as you could. Why didn't you fly?
I did. One downgrade hit pretty near 40 mile an hour.
I meant in the aeroplane.
Oh, no. A fella needs a car out here. I'm still single, you know. I figured to date me a Hollywood cutie.
I ain't got no time for dating. Like I told you on the telephone, I got troubles and I need your... What in blue blazes are you doing with all of them guns?
Well, when you said you had trouble, I figured we'd need shooting iron.
You ain't never fired a gun in your life.
I can load for you.
The kind of trouble I got calls for brains, not guns.
I brung them too. What's the problem?
Elly just fell in love with a frog.
What?
Well, he ain't all... Now, what do you want?
I want to know what you two are supposed... Oh, hey, look at the guns. Hey, are you starting a feud? Is that it? Hey, can I be on your side? Or who we fight?
Leave the guns alone. Just take Shorty's suitcases in the house.
Gee whiz, Granny. I want to know what y'all is doing.
Like I told you, it's for me to know and you to find out.
Granny, must have dust in my ear. It sounded like you said Elly had fell in love with a frog.
Well, he ain't all frog, just half. He's what you call a naval frogman. From the navel down, he's frog.
You joking?
And that ain't the worst of it. When he gets into the water, he goes all frog.
Does Elly know?
She don't care. He has thrown some kind of a spell over her.
You mean he might get married?
Ain't that a frightening thought? That's why I sent for you. You gotta help me stop him.
Why me?
'Cause you're the only one I can turn to. You're from back home. You're a hill man. You got horse sense.
So Jed.
He used to have. Now he's got water on the brain just like the rest of the family.
No.
That frogman has got Jed believing that he can farm the ocean.
Farm the ocean?
Ain't it pitiful? I tell you, everybody but me has gone stark raving.
Well, look who's here. Shorty Kellums, how are you?
Fine, Jed, fine. How's yourself?
Why, I couldn't be better. What brings you out here to California?
Well, Granny called long distance and said...
Invited them out for the holidays.
Yeah, that's it. Said we'd have a white Christmas together.
White Christmas in Beverly Hills?
Ain't you heard? We're gonna have white smog this year.
Well, anyways, glad to have you out here, Shorty. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta go talk to Mr. Drysdale about my new project.
What project is that, Jed?
What they call oceanography, Shorty. It's, farming the oceans and such.
Well, did I tell you?
You're right, Granny. Man's gone soft in the loft.
Now you can see why I need you.
Yeah. I'll go wash up, and we'll put our heads together.
Fine. Mark!
Hi, Granny. Whose car?
Oh, it belongs to a feller from back in the hills.
Certainly carries an arsenal. I wouldn't want to cross him.
Oh, he wouldn't. What did you say, Mark?
I wouldn't want a fellow that well armed mad at me.
How'd you know?
Know what?
That he was mad at you.
Why would he be mad at me?
You mean Elly didn't tell you about him?
Told me what?
That they was engaged back in the hills?
No.
Oh, yes. Elly was promised to him when she first come of marrying age. 12.
Who is he? What's his name?
Kellums. Killer Kellums.
Killer?
Oh, he's the best shot back in the hills. And he's vowed to drop you on sight because you stole his girl.
I'm sure glad he left his guns in the car.
Oh, them is just his outside guns. He's in there waiting for you with his inside guns.
Strange that Elly never...
Never mind that. Just be glad that I seen you before the killer did. Or he'd put so many holes in you, you'd throw a polka dot shadow.
Forgot my shaving kit, Granny. Howdy. My name's Kellums.
Kellums?
That's right.
Yeah, meet the killer.
I'm Shorty. Glad to meet you, killer.
All right, Mr. Clampett, you've said enough. Now you listen to me, and you listen good. I don't care what Mark Templeton says. I say oceanography is baloney. Farming the ocean is baloney. And you're not taking one red penny out of this bank for any such nonsense. Is that clear, Mr. Clampett?
I thought you were being a tiger all of a sudden.
I am a tiger, and I'm going to stay a tiger. I've decided there's only one way to handle a simple man like Jed Clampett. That's with force, power, authority.
Well, bully for you, but you happen to be wrong about oceanography.
Says who?
Says every thinking scientist and ecologist in the world. Well, we must save our oceans from pollution. Our environment is in terrible danger. The very existence of our planet is at stake.
Is it going to cost money?
Well, of course.
Then it's baloney. And that's what Jed Clampett is going to hear right from the tiger's mouth.
Miss Jane, Mr. Drysdale, I know you're busy, and I won't take a minute. I just want to say that I've made up my mind to put a heap of money into the study of oceanography.
Is that your final decision?
Yes, sir, it is.
Beautiful.
What?
I'm with Mr. Clampett 100%.
I thought oceanography was baloney.
You see what I have to contend with right here in my own bank? Miss Hathaway, can't you understand we must save the ocean from pollution? Our environment is in terrible danger. The very existence of this planet is at stake.
Chief, you are not to be believed.
Mr. Clampett, please me. Right, sir?
That's right, I do. And I'm kind of surprised at you, Miss Jane. Generally, you're real smart.
Well, not with this. When it comes to oceanography, she has a blind spot.
Chief, you are the lowest, the most...
Go ahead, revile me. Call me names. But I stand with Mr. Clampett, and so does every thinking scientist and ecologist in the world.
How can you be so completely...
Not another word. Mr. Clampett and I have taken enough abuse from you. Now get out of my office.
Chief.
Out! No, or you'll be fired.
I don't know how much more humiliation I can stand. I try so hard to be honest and efficient and all I get is...
I'm sorry that I had to turn into a tiger like that. But I decided the only way to handle a simple woman like Miss Hathaway is with force, power, authority.
Yeah, but you got her bawling.
Oh, not me, Mr. Clampett. Fear. The fear that you'll withdraw your money from this bank and she'll be out of work.
Well, I don't aim to draw it all out. Maybe just half.
Well, even half would upset her.
Miss Jane, I'm sorry, but I think it's only fair for me to haul off and tell you that I'm going to draw half of my money out of this bank and spend it on oceanography and ecology and such. That seemed to make her real happy.
That was hysteria.
Well, damage is done, so let's go on down to the cashier and get the money.
No, wait. That might push her over the edge emotionally. Let me bring it to you later.
Well, whatever you think is best.
I'll leave it to me.
Well, Chief, your duplicity did not work. Despite all your devious conniving, honesty and virtue have triumphed.
Cashier, make out a certified check for $48 million. Charges at the Clampett account.
Wonderful.
Also, send up 2 husky guards and a straitjacket.
Chief, who's the straitjacket for? Who's the straitjacket for? Chief, what do you intend to do with the straitjacket?
All ready for victuals, Granny.
I thought you was going to shave.
What made you think that?
Well, you came to get your shaving kit out of the car.
I don't keep no razor in there.
What do you keep in there?
Aftershave lotion.
What do you need that for if you don't shave?
Drives the women wild.
Well, you spoiled everything. I had Mark Templeton believing that you was a killer.
I am a killer. Lady killer.
Shorty Kill!
Hello, Elly Mae.
Shorty, it's good to see you again.
Don't hug him, Elly. He thinks he's a lady killer already.
Well, it's just a back-home friendship hug, Granny.
Well, if you want to show him some back-home friendship, give him a kiss.
Kiss?
Yeah, go on, a great big smooch.
Do what your granny says.
Hurry up, Elly. Mustn't disturb the lovers' reunion.
Lovers?
How about one for the road?
Shorty, you're a rascal.
How about one for the rascal?
They are doing a lot of kissing.
Naturally. Like I told you, them two got engaged years ago.
On the level?
No, back in the hills. Now, you run along and forget about Elly. Them two will be tying the knot any day now.
She can't marry him. He's too old.
Oh, don't let his looks fool you. Them whiskers hides the face of a boy.
They certainly do.
Now, I'll tell Elly that you wished her every happiness. So long, Mark.
Can't go without seeing her. I want to know why she never mentioned Mr. Collins before.
Oh, don't blame her. It was her pa that promised her hand.
When she was 12?
Yeah. Folks was beginning to call her an old maid.
Well, they get married early back in the hills, but couldn't her father have found someone younger and maybe better looking?
Mark, you gotta understand that Jed was poor as a church mouse in them days. Mr. Kellums was wealthy. He offered Jed a mule.
A mule? For his only daughter?
The way Jed felt about it, he wasn't losing a daughter. He was gaining a mule.
What's going on?
Oh, Jed, you're just in time to say goodbye to Mark. He has to rush away.
No, I don't. And I'd like to talk to Mr. Clampett.
He's too busy.
No, I'm not. What do you want to talk about, Mark?
Elly and the mule?
Elly and the mule?
You remember that, Jed? Ha! Elly and the mule, dee-dum-doo. Elly and the mule, dee-dum-doo. Jed had the plow and that is how. That's what happened to Elly and the mule. That's a dandy.
Granny, what are you up to?
The second chorus. Elly and the mule,
Now, wait a minute. Just settle down.
Granny, I wish you hadn't made me kiss Shorty. That rascal wouldn't turn me loose.
Granny made you kiss him?
No, it was love that done it.
I don't love Shorty. He's just my friend.
Aren't you engaged to marry him?
Marry Shorty? Course not.
What made you think that, Mark?
Granny told me.
Granny told you?
She said you promised Elly to Shorty when she was 12 years old.
Granny said that?
Said your father traded you for a mule.
That's terrible.
Where you going, Granny?
You all thrash this out amongst yourselves. I don't want to get mixed up in other folks' problems.
Oh, hi, Mr. Drysdale. I was just calling you about the money.
And here it is, Mr. Clampett. A certified check for $48 million. I'm sorry for the delay, but we had a little problem with Miss Hathaway.
What kind of problem?
Well, there's nothing to worry about. I'll see that she gets the best of care.
Care? What's wrong with her?
Now, let me worry about her. You just have a good time spending all this money.
Mr. Drysdale, what happened to Miss Jane?
Well, unfortunately, she got a look at this check. But the doctor says a couple of years in a sanitarium, and she'll be just fine.
Sanitarium? Mr. Drysdale, wait a minute. I want to... Miss Jane!
Ah! Don't get too close. It took 2 husky guards and me to get her into that straitjacket.
I think she's trying to tell me something. Let me get that gag out of her mouth.
No. Be glad it's there. When she saw that check, she started screaming, calling you names. Oh, shocking.
I feel terrible.
Oh, forget it. What's one secretary compared to the importance of spending $48 million to grow seaweed?
Miss Jane, I can't let this happen to you. Now watch. You see this old check? And tear it up into little bitsy pieces. Look at her, Mr. Drysdale. She feels better already.
Bless you, my friend. A small loss for oceanography, a giant gain for humanity.
Now, you're going to be all right, Miss Jane. Don't you worry about a thing. You take good care of her, Mr. Drysdale.
Oh, I will. How soon is fiddled, Granny?
Oh, in about a half hour or so. What in tarnation is that get up for?
Oh, I'm going down to Cement Pond and get a look at that Mark Templeton. I ain't never seen a fellow that's half frog.
Well, don't let him get you into the water, or he'll turn you into a frog.
You joshing.
Oh, no, I ain't. And if that happens, there's only two ways to turn you back.
What are they?
Take you to Dr. Klingner, or get you kissed by a pretty girl.
I'll take the pretty girl.
This ain't no joking matter now, Shorty. If that naval frogman gets you into the water, you're a goner.
Oh, stop worrying, Granny. He ain't gonna turn me into no frog.
Well, you see that he don't. I want you the way you are, such as it is.
So, in order to keep Miss Jane from going plumb out of her mind, I tore up the check.
Oh, Paul.
That's a shame.
Oh, well, I haven't changed my mind about oceanography. Quick as she's herself again, we'll work something out.
Good. It's a wonderful cause.
And right interesting, too. Elly tells me we're going to be using critters like that to help us farm the ocean.
That's right. Excuse me. I'll go slip out of this gear and get dressed.
I'll get dressed, too. Here, Paul, you can play with the seal. If he does good, be sure to reward him with a little piece of fish.
All right, now remember, don't say nothing to Granny about you having that critter.
Oh, I won't, Paul.
All right, fella, let's see what you can do.
You leaving, Elly?
Oh, yes, sir, Shorty. Gonna get dressed and help Granny with the vittles.
Hi, Jed.
Hi, Shorty.
Where's that there frog feller?
Oh, he's in the dressing room putting his clothes on.
Doggone it. I wanted to get a look at his frog legs and his flippers.
I'm going in. He'll show them to you.
He will?
Sure.
He ain't self-conscious about it, huh?
Not at all.
Hot dog, I ain't never... Oh. What's that thing?
That's a seal.
Well, I declare. I've never seen one of them things before.
They don't have them back in the hills. They're the ocean critter.
Cute little rascal. He got whiskers just like me.
Yeah, he does favor you a mite.
How I'll see you at Vittles, Jed.
All right, Shorty.
Granny, I'll get dressed and help you.
Oh, thank you, darling. Is Shorty down at the cement pond?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good. I best go fetch her.
Oh, no, ma'am. Don't go down to Cement Pond.
Why not?
Well, it's awful cold down there, and you might freeze. Now, you wait here. I'll be right back.
Her with bare legs, and I might freeze. What kind of foolishness is that? I best go see what's going on.
Where are you going, Granny?
Down the cement pond.
Oh, no, don't do that.
Why not?
Well, it's awful hot.
Elly says it's cold.
Well, it's both. The air's hot and the water's cold.
Jed, what is it that you and Elly don't want me to see?
Well, you're going to find out sooner or later. You might as well go on down there and get all the screaming and yelling over with.
Is it that bad?
Oh, we don't think so, but it's likely to rouse you.
Land sakes. It's happened. Shorty, I hear you splashing around, but where are you? It's you, all right. You still got your whiskers, but you ain't a frog. What are you?
Well, Granny, go ahead. Let off steam. Get it over with.
Mark Templeton done this, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
How How come he ain't a frog?
Well, a frog wouldn't be no help to us farming the ocean.
Farming the ocean?
Yeah, Mark says we're going to use that little fella for a farm animal. He's going to fetch and carry for us.
You aim to make a beast of burden out of him?
I won't hurt him. He likes it. Watch here. That's a good fella. Here you are.
What was that?
Well, every time he does a good job, I give him a piece of raw fish.
Jed, your heart has turned to stone. Get that poor devil out of the water.
Ah, he likes it in there. Come on, let's eat.
Shorty, you got yourself in this mess because you wouldn't listen to... Come over here, I'm talking to you. Oh, what's the use? Your life is ruined, and all you want to do is play ball.
This has been a film.
The Beverly Hillbillies.
Come on in, Shorty. I'm gonna call that doctor that turns water critters back into people. I fetched your robe for you. You might catch cold. That cough is getting worse. Of course, you got nobody to blame but yourself. I warned you not to let that frogman get you in the water. You're just lucky he didn't turn you into a frog like he done the others. Hello? Can I speak to Dr. Klingner, please? Oh, mercy. He is. Well, thanks anyway. Goodbye. Well, you're in for trouble now, Shorty Kellums. The doctor's out of town. Well, you sit up here at the table, and I'll fetch you some hot victuals.
Smells like corn, pone, hog jowls, and turnip greens. How soon is victuals?
Nobody gets fed until I take care of that poor little fellow over yonder.
What's he doing up at the table?
Waiting for hot victuals.
Mark feeds him raw fish.
You can tell that 5 feet away. But from now on, he gets treated decent.
You don't feed our kind of victuals to an animal like that.
Don't call him an animal.
That's what Mark calls him.
It's Mark that should be called an animal. His name is Shorty.
Right fitting name. Well, let's get the bathrobe off him.
No, you don't. He ain't sitting in my kitchen, jaybird naked.
He ain't supposed to wear clothes. He's a water critter.
Thanks to your friend, the frogman.
Well, Mark says when we go to farm in the ocean, critters like him will be dandy little workhorses.
Mark Templeton is an inhuman monster.
Now, Granny.
Who's his next victim gonna be? Me? What's he gonna do, turn me into a turtle?
You ain't making sense. I'm gonna take this little fella back down to Cement Pond.
You keep your hands off of him and get out of my kitchen.
But Mark says he belongs in the water.
You send Mark in here to see me. I got a few words to say to him.
Now, Granny, don't fly off the handle.
You send him in here. I ain't in no mood to be crossed.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, Shorty, why didn't you listen to me and stay out of the water? Now look at you, you poor little goomer. You can't go back to Silver Dollar City and run a hotel looking like that.
What's she doing with the seal in the kitchen?
I don't know, but she wants you in there, too.
Uh-oh. Looks like I'm gonna catch the dickens.
I'm afraid so. You want me to go in with you?
No, seal was my idea. I'll face the music.
We ain't likely to get victuals till you do. Oh, let me give you a little tip. She has named the seal Shorty.
Thanks, I'll remember.
Come in.
Hello, Granny. Hi, Shorty. Something sure smells good in here.
Well, it ain't him. I can tell you that.
Shorty, you shouldn't be in the house. I'll put you back in the pond.
No. He's sitting right here and going to eat hot bits.
Nothing but raw fish for him.
Now, let me tell you this. He ain't going back to the cement pond, and he ain't eating no more raw fish.
Well, Granny, if you feel that way, I'll just take him down and drop him in the ocean.
That does it. Now, hear this, sailor boy. I'm going for my shotgun. And when I come back, Shorty Kellums better be sitting in this chair. And I mean Shorty Kellums himself, and not this poor-looking, pitiful critter.
Well, I'll do my best. You heard her, Shorty. Let's go find the other Shorty.
I wouldn't go in there yet, Shorty.
Ain't victuals ready?
They might be, but Granny ain't.
Shorty, come here, quick.
What you on?
Sit down at the table. Hurry.
I don't want to eat like this.
Shorty, please, you gotta be sitting at that table before Granny gets back.
I ain't washed up yet.
Sit here. I will be.
I wish I knowed what this is all about.
Shorty! Oh, Shorty, darling, I'm so happy to see you.
Don't squeeze me too hard, Granny. I'm awful holler. I ain't ate since morning.
Shorty, I'm going to give you the greatest meal you ever had in your whole life.
Hallelujah.
It'll make you forget what that frogman done to you.
You mean Mark?
Mark the monster.
He ain't no monster. He's a nice feller.
Shorty, have you forgot the terrible thing that he done to you?
He didn't do nothing terrible. In fact is, Granny, he's an officer and a gentleman, and I like him.
You do, huh?
Yes, Mom. Now, how about that meal you promised me?
Okay. Here you are.
I don't think I'd call this the best meal I ever had.
Well, I'm glad to hear you're out of that straitjacket, Miss Jane. Now, when I come down to take out my money, it won't upset you all over again, will it?
Of course it won't upset me. I'm perfectly fine. That straitjacket was Mr. Drysdale's invention.
Oh, he's a clever fella. It fit you real good.
Oh, he's clever, all right. He's my #1 nemesis.
Well, I'm glad to hear he's your friend. I'll see you down the bank.
You going to the bank, Jed?
That's right, Shorty. I'm going to take out some money.
I'll drive you. I'm going to take out something myself.
Excuse me, Miss Hathaway. Here's the certified check you ordered for $48 million, charged against Mr. Clampett's account.
Thank you, Miss Gordon. This is a moment of great triumph for me.
What do you mean?
A similar check was issued earlier. But to keep Mr. Clampett from using it, that unprincipled scoundrel had 2 guards force me into a straitjacket and gag me. And then he told Mr. Clampett that the idea of his withdrawing all that money had driven me mad.
What a terrible man.
Indeed he is. I shall take great delight in watching him scream and yell and climb the walls in fury and frustration.
Can I watch, too?
Oh, be my guest. Chief, it gives me great pleasure to announce that Mr. Jed Clampett is on his way to this temple of greed to withdraw $48 million.
Really?
Yes, and I want you to know that this is a great moment for me.
For me, too, Miss Hathaway.
I've tried to tell you that honesty is the best policy. What'd you say?
As I was driving to the bank this morning, I almost had a collision with a huge truck.
Oh.
Suddenly, my whole life flashed before me. I saw in terrifying detail all the mean and petty things I've done. The schemes I had to get money, the lies I've told, the people I've wronged.
Chief,
I lived again those many times when you counseled the course of truth and justice. But I chose greed and avarice. You pointed to the high road, but I took the low road. I said to myself, Milburn, put your house in order. You never know when you'll be summoned to stand before that great bank examiner in the sky. And so I say to you, Miss Hathaway, and bear witness, Miss Gordon, I'm deeply sorry for my transgressions against you and deeply grateful for your never-failing loyalty and friendship. I think you deserve a reward.
My reward is seeing this glorious transformation take place in you, that there's awakening to the power of truth, honor.
As always, your sentiments are noble and unselfish. But I insist you accept this token of my gratitude.
$100?
It's little enough. Just take the rest of the day off and go out shopping. Do you like working here, Miss Gordon?
Oh, I certainly do.
Yeah. Would you like to continue working here?
Oh, indeed I would.
Fine, fine. Now, I have 2 jobs for you. Oh, you'll find a nurse's uniform in that dressing room there. Put it on.
A nurse's uniform?
Yes, when Mr. Clampett arrives, you're going to be my keeper.
I don't understand.
Oh, you will. The second job is to stop payment on Miss Hathaway's check.
Mr. Drysdale, I'm terribly disillusioned.
I'll make a note of it.
But I thought you had changed.
What gave you that idea?
Well, you said your whole life flashed before you.
It did. I loved it. Now get in there.
Yes, sir.
Is that you, Mr. Drysdale?
I am the Emperor of France. Josephine, who is this man?
Well, you know me. I'm Jed Clampett.
Are you from Wellington?
Oh, sir, I'm from Bugtussle.
You're not a member of my staff? They're all here.
Well, no, Mr. Drysdale.
I am Napoleon Bonaparte.
Well, okay, Mr. Bonaparte. I just come down here to draw up my money.
No? Just when my poor armies are retreating across the frozen steppes of Russia?
Well,
But my brave men are freezing. They're starving. They need food. They need clothing. Oh, please, don't withdraw your support now. They'll perish.
I don't want to starve or freeze nobody.
Oh, thank you, all of France. Thank you. This is the highest decoration my country can bestow.
I think I better be going.
Wait, I have another medal for you.
Well, you keep it, Mr. Drysdale. It looks real good on you.
Hey, Granny, watch out. You're gonna brain somebody.
It won't be nobody in this family. They ain't got nothing to bring. Put all my stuff in the truck. You're driving me to the airport.
Where are you going, Gran?
I'm going back home to the hills, where man is men and fish is fish, and they stays that way.
Please don't go back to the hills, Granny.
I got to, Jethro. I can't stay around and watch Elly May being married to that frog man. And there don't seem no way that I can stop it.
I'm begging you, Granny, please don't go.
Oh, bless you, boy. I didn't think nobody would care.
I care. If you go, I'll die.
No, you won't.
Oh, yes, I will. I'll have to eat Elly's cooking.
You're all heart, boy. Put my stuff out. Wait a minute. Elly's cooking. You have just given me the greatest idea.
I'm always coming up with great ideas. What was this one?
And never mind. Where's Elly?
She's out in the kitchen with Mark. They's doing the dishes. Oh, hey, Granny, what was that great idea I come up with?
Take my bags up to my room. Mark, my, don't you look handsome? And here's pretty little Elly May in her apron. I declare you two are the picture of domestic bliss.
Well, we thought the least we could do is wash the dishes.
Yes, ma'am, after that wonderful meal you cooked.
Look who's calling who a wonderful cook. As if you ain't never tasted any of her victuals.
I never have.
You're joking.
No?
Elly May, am I to understand that you have never cooked a meal for this man?
You always told me to stay out of the kitchen.
Until the right man come along. And here he is. Now, show him what you can do.
How about I cook supper for you tonight, Mark?
Wonderful.
What would you like?
Well, why don't you make him one of your out-of-this-world meatloaves? That's her pa's favorite.
Well, Pa says you can't eat it.
You can't beat it. Yeah, that's what he says, all right.
Well, what else should I make?
Why don't you make him some of them great big donuts?
I love donuts.
Oh, hers ain't to be believed.
Sounds like I'll be in heaven tonight.
Oh, we won't let you eat that many.
Hi, Jed. Shorty, what you doing with Mr. Drysdale's nurse?
When I went looking for you, I found her and fetched her home for a swim.
Actually, Mr. Clampett, I came to give you this.
Well, doggies, this is my check for $48 million. Mr. Drysdale must be all right, good as ever.
Well, he's as good as ever. But I wouldn't call that all right.
Jed, you reckon Elly's got a swimming suit that fit this little doll?
I reckon so. Come on in.
You will stay for a swim, won't you, Liz?
Well, I might as well, Shorty. I'm going to get fired anyway.
How come?
Well, Mr. Drysdale doesn't know about that check.
All right, Miss Gordon, you can change out of your nurse's uniform. Miss Gordon?
Dear Napoleon, welcome to Waterloo. The check and I are at Mr. Clampett's. Au revoir, Josephine.
Kill her!
That's right, Shorty. Show off for your new girlfriend. Come on.
I see you brought home another seal.
Yeah, Shorty, you're getting lonesome.
Granny's gonna hit the roof.
No, she won't. She likes me now.
Granny does?
Yeah, we're great friends.
Since when?
Since I changed out of my uniform.
And that done it?
It sure did. She walked into the kitchen, saw me dressed like this, and we were instant buddies.
Well, if that don't beat all.
This is really my lucky day. Elly's cooking supper for me.
Whose idea was that?
Granny's?
Uh-oh.
Something wrong?
Not yet.
Granny said Elly's cooking is not to be believed.
She's right about that. I'll see you directly.
You ready, Liz? How's it going in there? You ready for a swim, gorgeous?
No, I ain't.
No, I'm sorry, Granny. I knocked on the wrong door.
You sure did. You ain't getting me in that cement pond.
Granny, I thought you was my date.
I wouldn't date you if you was the last man on earth.
Listen, Granny.
Now you listen. If you ain't got sense enough to stay on dry land, that's your bad luck. But don't try to change me into no water critter.
I wouldn't do that.
And quit trying to lure me into the pond with that sweet talk.
That's who I was talking to. Yonder comes my date.
I'm ready, Shorty.
She's your date? That child? Why, you look like her father.
I do? He must be a handsome rascal. Elizabeth, this here's Granny. She knows your father.
Really?
Don't pay any attention to him. And don't go in the water with him. It's dangerous.
Oh, I'm an excellent swimmer.
Yeah, come on, Liz.
Honey, it ain't that. When he gets wet, he turns into the funniest looking little water goomer you've ever seen.
I don't care. I think he's kind of cute.
But wait a minute. If that don't scare you, listen to this. There's a great big frogman down there.
Really?
And if you get into the water with him, you know what will happen?
Well, I've got a pretty good idea. I used to date one.
Come on, Liz.
Coming, Shorty. The whole thing sounds real groovy.
Ricky, look at that. How come you didn't make it around?
Well, it's for Mark. And he's especially fond of meatballs, but Granny said make a meatloaf, so I made it in the shape.
How about meatball?
Yes, sir.
That's mighty clever of you, Elly.
Oh, thank you, Pa. Bet you just dying for a taste.
Yeah, but I'm going to fight it.
Well, excuse me. I gotta fetch some things out of the root cellar.
Fine.
Elly, how you coming with that? See you
Hold
later.
it, Granny.
What'd you say?
I said hold it.
All right, I'll hold it. But what is it?
It's that meatloaf you had Elly make for Mark to eat. Only I'm going to make you eat it.
Oh, you wouldn't do that, would you, Jed?
I won't on one condition. You make another one that looks just like that, only good.
Well, what will I do with this one?
Get rid of it. And another thing, tell our company that supper will be a little late tonight.
You're a hard man, Jed. Jethro, get rid of this for me.
What is it, Granny?
It's a meatball. Is Shorty and Elizabeth up at the cement pond?
Yes, ma'am.
They didn't go in the water.
Oh, yes, ma'am. They's changing now.
Oh, mercy, I'm too late. Shorty, Elizabeth, where are you? Shorty, why did you have to do it again? And Elizabeth, I pleaded with you. You were so pretty. Now look at you. Shorty, you old rooster. Can't you get your mind off of that for 1 minute?
Hello, Granny. I'm looking for Mr. Clampett.
What kind of a get-up is that?
Oh, never mind. I have to see Mr. Clampett about a check.
Well, he's around here someplace.
I'll find him. Oh, have you seen anything of a beautiful brunette secretary from my bank?
Is her name Elizabeth?
That's it. Where is she?
Swimming with Shorty. Come over here, Elizabeth. Your boss wants to see you.
This is Elizabeth?
Ain't she a mess? You remember Shorty Kellums? He runs a hotel back in Silver Dollar City.
Ah, yeah. Swell.
Look, Bessie, ain't that cute? Now calm down, Bessie. Bessie? Come on, give me a kiss.
Hey, how about a frogman getting in on some of that kissing?
Okay. Who do you want to kiss first, Shorty or Bessie?
Stay right there, and I'll show you.
Elly Mae, you know what I just found out?
What, Paul?
Shorty Kellums told me why Granny was so dead set against Mark. She thinks... What's this critter want?
She wants to give you a kiss.
Let's just settle for a handshake.
What was that about Granny and me?
Pa's found out why she don't like you.
I already know, because I'm a naval frogman.
Yeah, but to her, that means from your navel down, you're a frog.
You're joking.
Oh, and seeing you like this wearing the bottom half of your suit, that convinced her.
No wonder she's been trying to bust us up.
She thinks I'm a freak.
And that ain't all. She thinks you can turn other folks into water critters like seals and frogs just by getting them in the cement pond.
Oh, boy.
Poor Granny, I bet she's been worried half out of her mind.
I'm going up and get her now. And Mark, you show her how you shuck out your rubber suit.
Right.
That ought to end all our suffering and misery.
Hey, Granny, can I please have another helping of grits?
Jethro, how long have you been eating breakfast now?
Oh, shucks, as long as I can remember.
I mean, how many helpings of grits have you had?
Well, Couple of million, I reckon.
I'm talking about this morning.
Oh, this morning. Probably no more than a dozen.
Is there no bottom to that stomach of yours?
Well, it ain't just a stomach, your feet. Sitting up there is a giant brain. That rascal gets hungry.
Granny, would you please come down to Cement Pond with me?
I'd be glad to. Anything to get out of this kitchen. It seems like there's nothing but work, work, work. That's all I ever. Where'd you say we was going?
Cement Pond?
What for?
Well, you'll find out when you get there.
Is Elly's frog boomer down there?
Yeah, he's waiting for you. Come on.
Oh, what are you aiming to do to me?
We aim to put an end to all your worries and miseries. Now, don't be scared. Come on.
You're gonna drown me.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you are. Jethro, save me.
Okay, Granny. Quick as I finish eating these grits.
Come on, Granny.
Oh, please, Jed. I got a lot of good years left in me yet. I'll work hard. I won't complain, but don't drown me.
Granny.
Hey, it's a terrible way to go. I'm so scared of water.
Granny, will you listen to me?
If you're determined to get rid of me, make it quick and merciful. Stop me. Here, I'll make it easy for you. Stop me.
Jethro, you tote your granny down to the cement pond.
Yes, sir, but you gonna drown her?
No, I'm not gonna drown her.
So what are you gonna do?
Him and that frogman will likely turn me into some kind of a water critter.
Turn her into a duck. I love duck eggs.
Help! Please! Help! Help! Police! He's fixing to murder an old lady over here.
Granny, hush up. Tote her over there to Mark.
Please, Jethro, don't let that frog monster have me. Elly, don't let Mark change me into a duck.
A duck?
Jethro wants to eat my eggs.
Granny, all I want to do is show you that I'm not part frog.
Of course you ain't. Of course you ain't. You're a beautiful man. Perfect. Can I go now, Jed?
Sure, Mark.
He sheds his skin like a snake. Save me, boy. Don't let him get your old granny.
Look, Granny, it's just a rubber suit.
He ain't no water critter.
And he can't turn nobody else into one, neither.
So you don't have to be scared of him no more.
What gave you the idea that I was scared? Jed, I am the happiest woman in the whole world. Today is my granddaughter's wedding day.
Wedding day?
Well, why not? There's nothing to keep her and Mark from getting married now.
Well, there's one thing. He ain't asked her.
I'll take care of that.
Oh, no, you don't. If it happens, it's going to happen natural without no help from you.
Jed, I'll be so sly about it, they won't even know I'm helping.
Mark will be in directly, so I'll go up and change.
Slip into a wedding dress, honey.
A what?
Granny means a pretty dress, darling.
Oh, yes, sir, Pa.
It was real sly, Granny.
That was just a slip. But with Mark, I'll be as sly as a fox.
You'll be as quiet as a mouse.
Can't I even give a little hint?
Not one word.
Well, suppose he brings up the subject of marriage.
Well, that's different, but don't you start it.
Well, Mr. Clampett, I guess there's nothing standing in the way of our plans now.
He brought it up. He brought it up. Sit down, Mark, and we'll discuss this over a cup of coffee.
Fine.
Mark, what plans are you referring to?
Plans for our oceanography research.
Oh, them. You want a cup of coffee, Jed?
No, Granny. I'm going to fetch Mark that check for $48 million.
What a handsome dowry.
It's for research. And don't you forget your promise.
Don't worry about me, Jed. I'm going to be busy making pudding.
Fine. I'll be right back.
You like pudding, Mark?
You bet. But What kind you making?
Well, let's see what we got here. Oh, dear. I spilled rice all over you.
That's all right. It won't hurt anything.
True, true. As a matter of fact, it's kind of fun having rice spilled all over you.
Here you are, Mark. This will pay for a lot of research. What do you got all over you?
Rice. I must look like a groom at a wedding.
He brought it up. He brought it up. All right, son, now let's get down to business.
Come on, Mark. We're getting out of here.
Bring him back, Ted. I kept my word.
Hey, Granny, you got anything to eat?
You like rice?
Yeah.
Here.
Elly, Mae, Mark is waiting in the parlor. He's got news for you.
What is it, Paul?
Well, I think I'll let him tell you.
What you want to tell me, Mark?
Elly, I've decided to resign my commission and leave the Navy.
How come?
Well, actually, there's several reasons. Let's sit down and talk about it.
Well, Mark, I'll see you before you leave for San Diego. Granny.
What's going on in there? Is he going to pop the question?
I don't think so.
Well, let's listen and find out.
Oh, Granny. Mark's saying goodbye to Elly.
Goodbye? After what he's done?
What's he done?
Let's listen and find out.
Let him alone. They want to talk. Mark's fixing to leave.
He can't leave with Elly in that condition.
What condition?
Single.
I know this seems like a sudden decision, Elly, but I really think it's for the...
Excuse me, y'all. Granny told me to fetch in this wood in case she wants a cozy fire in the fireplace.
Jethro, there's already plenty wood here.
Besides, I'm just leaving.
You're too late to hear anything, Granny. He's leaving.
Granny! My goodness. How did I get in there? I must have fell asleep and Jethro piled wood on me.
No, I didn't. You said...
Get out of here, you nitwit!
Hey, what's going on?
I'm doing my best to keep him out of the parlor, Jed. I had to roust him out with a piece of firewood.
Granny, you're making me out to be one of the...
He's trying it again!
Well, Mr. Clampett, I'm really looking forward to working with you in our oceanography project.
Me too. I give you the check, didn't I?
Yes, sir.
Fine and dandy.
I'll stop at the bank on my way and open special account.
So long.
Well, Elly, the last time you'll see me in uniform. In a few days, I'll be in mufti.
Good luck, Mark.
Clampett Oceanography Institute. Well, I see you've heard the news.
Right.
So Mr. Clampett's $48 million will be used for research.
Right.
Well, you don't seem very upset.
Right.
But, Chief, the $48 million will come out of your bank.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Right.
You're the treasurer of the Institute?
Right.
Who made that decision, you?
Right.
Chief, if you control the money, there'll never be a penny of it released for research.
Right.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Right.
Mark, my boy, welcome aboard. Oh, I'm glad we're going to be shipmates on this project.
Who made you treasurer?
Well, I volunteered.
Forget it.
What do you mean?
We've already elected officers. Mr. Clampett's president, and I'm treasurer.
Well, you can't be treasurer. You're in the Navy.
I'm on my way to the base now to resign my commission.
You're leaving the Navy?
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to devote my full time to this project.
Traitor, coward, deserter, yellow belly.
You know, Mr. Drysdale, I came here to deposit Mr. Clampett's $48 million in a special account. But in view of your attitude, I think I'll do business with another bank.
I said it and I'll say it again. Coward, traitor, deserter, yellow belly. Hey! Sorry, Mark, I had to use such language in front of you, but she deserves it.
Man, you are not to be believed.
Goodbye, Miss Hathaway.
Goodbye,
Oh, wait, Mark, wait. Now, you wouldn't do this to an old Navy buddy, would you? A wounded veteran? A hero? Oh, Spunky Drysdale?
I'm afraid I would, Skunky.
That's Spunky! Hold it, sailor!
Yes?
Up to now, respect for that uniform has held my temper in check. But this is it. Now take off that jacket and get ready for the thrashing of your life.
Gotta be kidding.
What's the matter? You afraid?
Of course not.
Then peel off that jacket.
This is ridiculous.
And don't think your size is going to give you an edge, buddy. It's speed and courage that's going to win this fight. You're up against a tiger. Now step outside. All right, Tiger. Now get out there and give him the thrashing of his life. She's small, but she's fast.
As you said, Lieutenant, he is not to be believed.
Tell me something, Miss Hathaway. What's a nice girl like you doing in a place like this?
Well, every normal woman likes to feel needed. And around here, the need for someone normal is tremendous.
I'm sorry I lost my temper, Lieutenant. I've cooled off now. I hope you'll accept my apology.
That's okay.
And I want to wish you and Mr. Clampett every success with your project.
Thank you.
Now, I hope your discharge from the Navy goes smoothly. And if I can ever be of any help, please let me know.
Well, thanks again. So long.
Goodbye, Lieutenant.
So long, mate.
Congratulations, Chief. When the chips were down, you took it like a man.
The taking was easy. The trick was getting his jacket.
You picked his pocket. You have sunk to the level of a petty thief.
Since when is 48 million petty?
I appreciate this opportunity, Miss Hathaway, but I'll never be able to take your place. You've been with Mr. Drysdale so long.
Too long. I should have left him years ago.
I'm sure I'll never be able to please him.
It's really very simple. First thing in the morning, simply bring him a stack of mortgages to be foreclosed, and he'll laugh merrily until noon.
What's going on in here? This is a private office.
I am merely briefing Miss Thompson on her duties as your new secretary. My resignation is on the desk.
You're leaving me?
Joyously, jubilantly, and belatedly.
But why? Where will you find another man like me to work for?
It won't be easy. Most of them are behind bars.
She doesn't read it.
I'm afraid she does.
I have put it in writing. Read my resignation.
Mr. Drysdale, my conscience will not permit me to be associated with a man who has proven himself to be a liar, a cheat, a bully, and a coward. I'll sue you for slander.
Please do. I can prove every charge I've made.
Now, look, Miss Hathaway, you're overwrought. How about a cooling off period? A vacation with pay. A nice trip with all expenses on me.
Oh, Miss Hathaway, take it. Where would you send her?
Well, how about Venice?
Venice. It's beautiful.
Right. If she leaves now, she could be back at her desk at 4 o'clock.
To Venice and back?
Well, sure. You just drive out Wilshire Boulevard to the ocean. You make a left turn.
Forget it!
Well, how about Marineland? Hey, I've got a pass. Oh, Miss Hathaway, how can you leave a sweet man like me?
Huh?
You'll never be able to get another job like this. I'll blacklist you.
I couldn't care less. I'm going to relax completely and enjoy myself.
How? What'll you do?
I'll take a place at the beach. The grunion are running.
Grunion?
What are grunions?
Oh, they're little fish that appear in the beach at certain times of the year. They're expecting a record run.
Grunion coming tonight. Huge invasion predicted. Oh, I'll bet that's fun. Might I join you?
You might not. You're working late.
Oh, chin up, Helen. Outwardly, he may appear gruff and mean, but inwardly, he is completely rotten. Oh, and you might as well take this down. The moment Mark Templeton's out of the Navy, you're through. Top.
She's right. I've got to keep that boy in the Navy.
Do you plan to do something terribly rotten? If so, might I watch? I've never seen a real bounder in action.
That you, Mr. Drysdale?
Aye. I just wanted to shake your hand before shoving off.
Well, how come you to be got up like this and toting a gun?
I have an order to report combat ready by 1800 hours.
Combat ready? You fixing to fight somebody?
Our Navy is the first line of defense, Mr. Clampett. And with so many of the young men quitting now, just when they're needed, they're asking some of us old veterans to step into the breach.
Is our country in some kind of trouble?
You haven't heard?
Oh, Mark didn't say nothing.
Please, I wish you wouldn't mention that name.
Mark, why not?
Mr. Clampett, I am proud of the Navy and its tradition for bravery. And anyone who would quit at a time like this brings disgrace on all of us boys in blue. So if I don't come back, look after my wife.
Oh, wait a minute. What's going on?
You don't know about the grunion?
Grunion? Never heard of him.
Well, the Navy's been expecting trouble with them for years, and now it's here.
Grunion coming tonight. Huge invasion predicted. Does Mark know about that?
He's a lieutenant in the United States Navy.
Seems to me he picked a pretty poor time to quit.
You're taking it calmly. I thought Miss Hathaway was going to scratch his eyes out.
Sure enough?
Yes. When he announced he was resigning his commission to become treasurer of your oceanography project, she was speechless with rage. And when he tried to give her your check for deposit, she slapped it out of his hand.
Is that a fact?
And when, because of my friendship to you, I accepted it, she got so furious with me, she resigned.
No.
Yes, well, just listen to what she has to say about Mark Templeton. My conscience will not permit me to be associated with a man who has proven himself to be a liar, a cheat, a bully, and a coward.
It was harsh words.
You just read it yourself. I'm sure you can recognize her signature.
That's it, all right.
Who are you talking to, Jed?
It's Mr. Drysdale. He's fixing to help the Navy fight off the grunion.
What's grunion?
Well, let Mr. Drysdale explain it to you. I got something to tend to.
They're a fierce, warlike people who are ready to invade us.
Where is they from?
Oh, they're from the island of Grun.
Well, if the Navy is fixing to fight them, how come Mark is getting out?
Because he's a yellow-bellied coward. And I wouldn't let Elly May have anything to do with him unless he promises to stay in the Navy.
Mark, it's Jed Clampett speaking. There's something I want to ask you. Do you know about the grunion?
The grunion? Oh, sure. Some of my buddies are planning to go after him.
What about you?
No, not me. All I can think about is getting out of the Navy.
Thanks, Mark. You told me what I needed to know. Bye.
To tell the truth, I never have trusted that frog man.
Mr. Drysdale, I just talked to Mark down in San Diego.
You didn't?
Yep. And there's no doubt about it. That boy is yellow as a summer squash.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Well, I told you so. Well, I'm off to defend my country against the invader.
Granny, fetch the guns. We're headed for the beach.
We gonna fight the grunions?
You betcha. This country's been good to us, and we ain't gonna let her down just when she needs us. Jethro! Elly May! Come